Guest, Mr. Lalit Wiratunga, distinguished guests, our kind sponsors, my colleagues from the Internet Society chapters from across Asia Pacific, ladies and gentlemen. A very happy Vesak to you, and welcome to INET Colombo, the 5th regional INET for the Asian region. Personally, I'm very happy that we have been able to hold this particular INET in Sri Lanka, keeping in mind events of the very recent past. Sri Lanka as a location emphasizes the commitment of the Internet Society to continue helping the Internet's development and its long-standing focus on providing as much assistance as it can to the developing world. I have also come to know that several of the Internet and ICT pioneers in Sri Lanka have attended and benefited from the Internet Society's INET programs from the 1990s. And indeed, I'm very happy that we have quite a few of them involved with INET Colombo, and indeed, quite a few of them are here present in the room today as well. So welcome and thank you for being a part of ISOC in the past, and I hope you continue to be a part of ISOC as we go into the future. The early INET program was a series of large global conferences and workshops focused on helping build the Internet's early growth and spread. That program ended in the early 2000s, and in 2009, the Internet Society decided to revive the INET program as a regional event. The regional nature of these events allow us much better localized focus and the ability to engage as a large part of the community as possible. We are also able to better consider issues and topics of importance to the local community and provide a platform to bring together multiple stakeholders from multiple sectors. From the conference agenda, you will see that this is very ably demonstrated, where we have focused sessions on issues of importance both to Sri Lanka and the region at large. Much of the topics will also resonate with our colleagues in other regions of the world in various forms. Over this past weekend, we were also able to keep true to the early INET roots and had a series of workshops covering topics such as localization, security, IPv6, and social media. This continues the Internet Society's long-standing tradition of capacity-building initiatives across regions. As we move on, today we have over 2 billion users on the Internet, and this number continues to grow. The developing world is seeing the largest number of users coming online, and this also means adding diversity to the Internet by catering to the needs of these users who speak different languages and come from different cultural contexts. As the Internet grows in size and reach, so does the need to keep the Internet true to its roots that have allowed it to be successful, and to keep letting it evolve and develop for the benefit of everyone. The Internet Society's public policy principles are built on the fundamental belief that the Internet is for everyone, and indeed that is our slogan, the Internet is for everyone. You will note that the theme chosen for INET Colombo is Internet for all. And as you would have realized by now, the theme itself is core to the Internet Society's mission and objectives. Harsha mentioned that the Internet today is at a crossroads. Over the course of several years, the Internet Society has developed a set of public policy principles in consultation with its members, chapters, partners, policymakers, and stakeholders from the Internet ecosystem. Allow me to very briefly outline these for you. 1, the ability to connect. The edge-dominant end-to-end architecture of the Internet is essential to its utility as a platform for innovation, creativity, and economic opportunity. To preserve this quality, we will oppose efforts to establish standards or practices that would make it difficult or impossible for some users of the Internet to use the full range of Internet applications of all kinds. The ability to speak. The Internet is a powerful mass medium for self-expression, which depends on the ability of its users to speak freely. We believe that the Internet must support private and, where appropriate, anonymous means of communication and collaboration among individuals and groups, and will oppose efforts to restrict the type or content of information exchanged on the Internet. The ability to innovate. The remarkable growth of the Internet and the limitless variety of Internet applications follow directly from the open model of Internet connectivity and standards development. Any individual, organization, or company can develop and distribute a new Internet application that can be used by anyone. We recognize the enormous value of this innovation and oppose governmental or non-governmental restrictions on the evolution and use of Internet technology for the benefit of mankind. The ability to share. The many-to-many architecture of the internet makes it a powerful tool for sharing, education, and collaboration. It has enabled the global open source community to develop and enhance many of the key components of the internet, such as the domain name system, or DNS, and the World Wide Web. And it has also made the vision of digital libraries a reality today. To preserve these benefits, we will oppose technologies and legislation that would inhibit the freedom to develop and use open source software, or limit the well-established concept of fair use, which is essential to scholarship, education, and collaboration. The ability to choose. Government regulation and the economic power of incumbent telecommunication monopolies can delay or prevent the growth of the internet by limiting the availability of competitors to provide new, better, cheaper, or more innovative internet-related services. We advocate policies that promote competition in telecommunications, internet services, internet-related software, and e-commerce applications. And finally, the ability to trust. Everyone's ability to connect, speak, innovate, share, and choose depends on the internet's ability to support trustworthy internetworking, ensuring the security, reliability, and stability of increasingly critical and pervasive applications and services. I would encourage you to spend a moment or two to dwell on these principles and to think about how they might be relevant to you and how you use the internet and those around you. I also encourage you to consider what impact not adhering to these principles may have. Working with our members, chapters, and partners, the Internet Society's vision for the future is one in which people from all parts of the world have access to the internet and are capable of using it to improve the quality of their lives. At the very core of this vision is the belief that internet standards, applications, business practices, and government policies must work in harmony to successfully support and sustain an open and universally accessible platform for innovation, creativity, and economic opportunity. Over the next 2 days, we will get an opportunity to discuss some of these issues facing the internet today and what the future holds. I look forward to what is certain to be interesting perspectives and discussions around these issues and being able to hear your views on how you see the internet developing and evolving. I would like to add that if you are not already a member of the Internet Society, I invite you to consider joining us. The Sri Lankan chapter of the Internet Society is one of our newest, and they have a great team, as you can see from the arrangements that have been done here today, who are working together to promote our vision and mission. I would very much like you to consider joining their endeavors and being a part of the global Internet Society family. In closing, I would like to mention that events of this nature are not possible without our sponsors and partners, and I thank them for their kind assistance in the success of INET Colombo. As well, a big thank you to the team at the Internet Society's Sri Lankan chapter for helping us put this event together and for their hospitality to all the delegates from abroad. Thank you.